Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Prasar Bharati. Coming up in the next hour. US President Donald Trump's West Asia envoy Steve Witkoff meets Israeli hostage families in Tel Aviv, says working on a plan to end Gaza conflict. Philippines President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to begin 5-day state visit to India from August 4. Visit coincides with 75th anniversary of India-Philippines diplomatic relations. And in Jammu and Kashmir, anti-terror operation continues in Akal Devsar area of Kulgam district. 3 terrorists neutralised so far. Will England be able to chase India's mammoth target in 5th and final test at the Oval? US envoy Steve Witkoff met anguished relatives of Israeli hostages in Tel Aviv on Saturday, nearly 22 months after Hamas's October 2023 attack sparked the ongoing Gaza conflict. Amid chants of "bring them home," Witkoff pledged to work with US President Donald Trump on a plan to end the war along with securing the release of 49 remaining hostages, 27 of whom are presumed dead as per the Israeli military. Hamas has intensified pressure, releasing a video showing emancipated hostage Eviatar David, prompting his family to denounce their starvation tactics. Meanwhile, French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot has denounced the despicable Hamas and Islamic Jihad videos showing malnourished hostages, demanding their unconditional release and Hamas's disarmament. While international mediators, including the US, Egypt and Qatar, face stalled ceasefire talks.
Just came out of meeting with Mr. Steve Witkoff. It was very positive and appreciated that the fact that he sat with the families for over 2 hours, listening to every personal story and hearing each individual request, and he answered the last question and didn't go until then. He talked about what is the objective. The objective are 2 things: ending the war and getting all the 50 hostages out.
We spoke about the deal that is going to be all or nothing. We told him that nothing is not open for us. We said to him that it must be all of them immediately. All the things that the matter things is actually the time. The matter of time is all the question. We saw our children are starving. We saw him there in the captivities. They will not be survive too much. It means that we have to make pressure by the government of the United States to make pressure not to stop until it's going to be done.
Meanwhile, thousands rallied at Tel Aviv's Hostages Square, urging Israeli government to end the Gaza conflict and secure the release of 49 hostages. Videos released by Hamas and Islamic Jihad showed hostages Eviatar David and Rom Braslavsky in dire health, sparking outrage. Hamas has dismissed reports that it expressed willingness to disarm during Gaza ceasefire negotiations with Israel, affirming its national and legal right to resistance against Israeli occupation. The Palestinian group issued a statement in response to comments allegedly made by United States President Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, during a meeting with relatives of Israeli captives held in Gaza. Citing a recording of the conversation, Israeli outlet Haaretz reported that the US envoy told the families that Hamas was prepared to be demilitarized. However, Hamas firmly denied the claim. Updates from Russia-Ukraine conflict now. At least 7 people were injured and dozens of houses along with the residential buildings were reduced to rubble after an overnight Russian missile strike on the city of Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine on Sunday. Around 23 private homes, 12 apartment buildings and a post office were damaged in the strike. In another Russian strike, a bridge in Kherson region was heavily damaged on Saturday. The state administration strongly urged the local residents to evacuate. The bridge connected the city center to nearby Korabel district. Meanwhile, Ukraine launched a drone strike over Russian city of Sochi, prompting more than 120 firefighters to extinguish a blaze at an oil depot with a capacity of 2,000 cubic meters. The Russian Defense Ministry said that it destroyed 93 Ukrainian drones overnight, while Russia's Civil Aviation Authority had temporarily halted flights at Sochi's airport, but now have been resumed. Sochi's mayor confirmed and that said there were no victims and the situation is totally under control. Ukraine's anti-corruption agencies, Anti-National Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office uncovered a major graft scheme involving military drones and signal jamming systems purchased at inflated prices just days after their independence was restored last week following massive protests. The scheme implicated a sitting lawmaker, 2 local officials and National Guard personnel who took bribes up to 30% of contract costs. 4 arrests were made. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, reversing his earlier attempt to control the agencies, praised their autonomy, vital for Ukraine's EU membership bid. The protests, the largest since the Russia-Ukraine conflict in 2022, forced Zelensky's policy U-turn, earning praise from European allies.
A serious Russian agent in the Air Force was exposed, as well as a former official of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine who tried to make money from the purchase of food for our army.
And Operation Akhal in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district has entered its 3rd day on Sunday, with security forces continuing their anti-terror efforts in the Akhal Devsar forest area. In the latest updates, security forces have neutralized 3 terrorists so far, while 1 soldier has sustained injuries. Elite para-forces, supported by advanced surveillance technology, are spearheading the mission. Senior police and army officials are closely overseeing the operation, which remains dynamic with ongoing exchanges of fire. The area is under a strict cordon as security forces maintain heightened vigilance. All right, and DD India's Shabir Dar joins us live from Srinagar. Hi, Shabir. What's the latest that you're tracking on Operation Akhal?
Yeah, the operation is going on for the 3rd day today, and as we already know that 3 terrorists are being gunned down in this, operation. We started on Friday after a specific input to the security forces. They coordinated the Akhal forest area, and the contact was established on Friday evening, and the operation continued overnight. And on Saturday, that is August 2, the first success of the security forces was in the shape of killing 1 terrorist. And today, as we speak, 3 terrorists have been neutralized in this operation. Remember, this is one of the crucial operation going on as security forces have deployed reinforcement and para commandos and in support of modern technology like drones and and other gadgetry. So every effort is being made that the terrorists who are holed up in the forest area are neutralized as early as possible. So clearly efforts are going on. The operation is taking time because of the tough situation, tough terrain and dense foliage of the forests. Yes.
Okay, Shabir, definitely it's a very crucial operation and it's taking time. because it's a tough terrain. We understand that. Shabir, are there any restrictions on civilian movement? If you have any information regarding that?
Yeah, the civilian areas around this forest have been coordinated, and there is, a movement check in the movement. So only those people who have some emergency to leave or come to those habitations, they are allowed. Rest of the normal movement is under check. So definitely the entire area has been coordinated, be it the forest and the surrounding residential localities. Definitely security forces have taken the heightened measures to ensure that a few more terrorists which are believed to be hiding in those forests have no space to leave or to flee from the area, because security forces are on a manhunt to establish contacts with the hiding terrorists, because it is believed that 2 or 3 terrorists are still hiding in those forests. That is why we have seen the para commandos are there, the modern technology including drones and the other devices are being pressed into service to ensure that the calibrated and effective operation ensures in neutralizing all the hiding terrorists as soon as possible.
Shabir. Shabir, any confirmation of high-value targets being neutralized or captured in this current operation, ongoing operation?
Yeah, it is too early to say that, but yes, 3 terrorists have been gunned down, and the way the security forces, the top leadership of both Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police are themselves monitoring this operation. The chief of the police of Jammu and Kashmir was near the operation yesterday. The Army's top commanders were there, the top leadership was there. So it clearly indicates that yes, there might be some high-value terrorists in this operation. So, but yes, it is too early to reveal their identities, as the security forces are on the job to identify the killer terrorists and give details about the hold up terrorists in the area. I think when the operation concludes, the security forces will be in a position to reveal the identity and affiliation of those terrorists killed in this operation.
Okay, Shabir, I also want to ask you that did you have any word with the locals there, and if so, what are they saying? What are they telling you?
Yeah, I happen to speak to some people in in the vicinity.
Okay.
They are definitely terrified because there has been shelling, this fighting going on from last 3 days. The locals are terrified, but yes, enough arrangements are being made to ensure that their safety. They are being from the front. Anybody who is near the forest has been evacuated to the safer localities.
Okay.
But the surrounding villages to the forest have been coordinated. They are a bit worried about how long this operation is going to take. But the security forces are doing everything, making every effort to ensure that there is no collateral damage and no civilian that is harmed in any way, and no innocent is being bothered, or is being mistreated, or faces any difficulty in this situation.
Definitely, the security forces are making sure that there is no collateral damage, but definitely we certainly understand the very fact that the locals are terrified because of the ongoing operation. Shabir, thanks for all these details, but for any updates, we'll keep taking updates from you if there is any update in the ongoing operation, which is Operation Akal. As of now, we leave it there. Thank you so much. Moving on to other stories, at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President of Philippines Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will pay a state visit to India from 4th to 8th of August. He will be accompanied by First Lady Madam Luis Aranita Marcos and a high-level delegation, including several cabinet ministers, other dignitaries and senior officials, in addition to business representatives. This would be the first visit of President Marcos to India since assumption of office of the President of the Philippines. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi and President Marcos are scheduled to hold bilateral discussions. President Marcos will also be meeting his Indian counterpart Draupadi Murmu. Both countries have since developed a strong partnership across a wide spectrum of areas, including trade and investment, defense and security, maritime cooperation, agriculture, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and digital technologies. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. OPEC Plus alliance expected to hike oil production, and meeting is expected for the same at 1100 GMT. Stay tuned to know more on this. US federal agency formally opens an investigation into former special counsel Jack Smith. Los Angeles protesters take to the streets to rage against the regime.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Saudi Arabia, Russia and 6 other key members of the OPEC Plus alliance are expected to further hike oil production in a meeting on Sunday, a move analysts say is aimed at regaining market share amid resilient crude prices. The anticipated output increase by the group of 8 oil-producing countries known as the Voluntary 8 or V8 would be the latest in a series of hikes that began in April. In a bid to boost prices, the wider OPEC Plus group, comprising the 12-nation OPEC and its allies, in recent years had agreed to 3 different tranches of output cuts that amounted to almost 6 million barrels per day in total. Since April, the V8 group has placed increased focus on regaining market share over price stability, a policy shift after years of enforcing production cuts to prop up prices. Saudi Arabia, the group's most influential member, relies heavily on oil revenues to finance its ambitious plan aimed at diversifying the economy. US officials have opened an investigation into Jack Smith, the former special counsel who led 2 federal criminal cases against President Donald Trump. The Office of Special Counsel told the New York Times on Saturday that it was investigating Smith for potentially violating the Hatch Act, which prohibits federal workers from engaging in political activity while on the job. Republican Senator Tom Cotton had reportedly asked the agency to investigate whether Smith's actions had been designed to influence the 2024 election. Smith was appointed special counsel in 2022 and charged Trump with plotting to overturn the results of the 2020 election and mishandling classified documents after leaving the White House. Trump denied both charges and sought to frame them as politically motivated, accusing the Justice Department of being weaponized against him. The US Senate on Saturday confirmed Jeanine Pirro, former Fox News host, as US Attorney for the District of Columbia in a 50-45 vote. The 74-year-old, praised by President Donald Trump as exceptional, transitioned from hosting Justice with Judge Jeanine to a key judicial role. Her appointment, alongside other media figures like Pete Hegseth and Sean Duffy, reflects Trump's preference for loyalists. Critics, including Senator Dick Durbin, criticized her for promoting 2020 election conspiracies, citing her involvement in a settled $800 million defamation lawsuit. Pirro's confirmation highlights Trump's influence in reshaping government with trusted allies. US President Donald Trump fired a top Labor Department official by accusing her of manipulating the job figures in its latest published report on job growth and the economy. Commissioner Erica McEntarfer has been leading the Bureau of Labor Statistics since January 2024. The Bureau's jobs report showed that just 73,000 jobs were added in the US last month and that 258,000 fewer jobs were created in May and June than previously estimated. The report also suggested that the economy has sharply weakened during Trump's tenure. Protesters marched the streets of Los Angeles on Saturday as part of nationwide protest called Rage Against the Regime. The protest was organized by 50-51 movement, a group against President Trump's policies. The name 50-51 stands for 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. The group has been active since US President Donald Trump took office, leading events under slogans like "Hands off" and "No Kings." Saturday's protest focused on opposing Trump's actions on immigration, mass deportations and federal budget cuts. Similar rallies were planned in about 350 cities across the United States. The Smithsonian Institution removed a placard detailing US President Donald Trump's 2 impeachments from the National Museum of American History, clarifying on Saturday that the decision was not due to White House pressure. The temporary placard, which outlined Trump's 2019 and 2021 impeachments, was removed for not meeting exhibit standards and obstructing display views. The Smithsonian denied external influence despite reports of a content review following White House actions. Trump, the only US president impeached twice, has pushed to reshape cultural institutions. The museum plans to update the exhibit to comprehensively reflect all US impeachment proceedings in the coming weeks. Anti-immigration protests in the UK led to clashes and arrests in Manchester and London. In Manchester, far-right Britain First marchers demanding mass remigration faced anti-racism counter-protesters, with police intervening after brief scuffles. Protesters criticized asylum policies, while counter-protesters condemned hate. In London, rival groups clashed outside hotel housing asylum seekers, resulting in 9 arrests, 7 for breaching Public Order Act conditions. Recent tensions, notably in Epping, highlighting growing unrest over immigration, with authorities struggling to maintain order amid heated demonstrations. Brazilian police raided the residence and political office of former President Jair Bolsonaro early Friday, enforcing strict legal measures, including fitting him with an electronic ankle monitor over concerns of his attempting to flee the country. Bolsonaro is currently facing trial for allegedly plotting to overturn Brazil's 2022 presidential election. As per media reports, Bolsonaro was also banned from using social media and prohibited from contacting foreign diplomats or visiting embassies. Bolsonaro, who lost to President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, however, has denied any wrongdoing. Friday's raid followed reports that Trump attempted to pressure Lula into halting Bolsonaro's prosecution by threatening Brazil with severe tariffs. A week after those threats, the US launched a formal probe into Brazil's trade practices. Despite previously downplaying concerns that he might flee, Bolsonaro now faces 5 criminal charges along with 33 others. If convicted, he could serve over 40 years in prison. With less than 3 weeks before the general elections in Bolivia, supporters of former Bolivian President Evo Morales have launched a campaign for null votes. Morales' exclusion from the ballot has sparked protests, with campaign offices established to promote null voting as a form of resistance. The campaign highlights divisions within Bolivia's left as Morales' supporters aim to disrupt an election that, for the first time in nearly 3 decades, will proceed without his presence. The election in Bolivia is set for August 17. And let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. More than 2,000 troops from 10 countries have gathered near Tbilisi for Agile Spirit, a major NATO-led military exercise hosted by Georgia. Participating nations include the United States, Germany, Poland, and close regional partners such as Ukraine, Moldova, and Georgia itself. The biennial drills are designed to boost interoperability and readiness among allied forces. Bolivians celebrated Pachamama with communities gathering on Pachiri Hill to perform traditional ceremonies and offerings to Mother Earth. The annual ritual, deeply rooted in indigenous Andean culture, honors nature's life-giving force and seeks harmony between people and the earth. Amidst high inflation and economic challenges, many asked Pachamama for stabilization and a supportive government in the upcoming elections. Artificial intelligence took center stage at this year's major gaming exhibition in Shanghai, where developers and creators showcased how rapidly advancing AI tools are redefining the gaming landscape. From dynamic storytelling to personalized gameplay, AI integration is giving players more control than ever before and opening doors to an entirely new experience. Pope Leo celebrated the largest event in field on the outskirts of Rome, encouraging a crowd of over 1 million Catholic youth. Leo led a mass that capped a special week of events meant to energize Catholic youth. Sunday's mass was part of a week-long series of events in Rome for Catholic young people tied to the ongoing Catholic Holy Year. Amsterdam's iconic canals hosted a colorful and vibrant pride parade as participants danced and waved flags on boats through the Dutch capital. Dozens of decorated boats glided through the city's historic waterways, lined with participants cheering and joining in the festivities. As the world looks ahead to the COP30, Brazil sent a powerful visual message Saturday night by illuminating the Christ the Redeemer statue with striking projections celebrating the Amazon rainforest and the country's environmental diversity. The display featured vivid images of lush Amazonian landscapes, indigenous communities, native wildlife, and the flags of Brazil and the state of Pará, where the upcoming climate summit will take place in Belém from November 10 to 21. Goz Lake, a natural water source in Turkey's Antalya, transformed into a sea of water lilies during spring and summer, starting to bloom at the end of May. The lilies, also known as lotus flowers, reach peak maturity by mid-August, creating a stunning natural spectacle. Visitors at this iconic lake can spot variety of bird species and freshwater turtles around its shores. And still to come on the India NewsHour. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav highlights India's economic growth. Amarnath Yatra suspended a week before its scheduled conclusion. Stay tuned to know the facts.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD NewsHour. I'm Siddharth Bhardwaj, and a quick recap of the headlines. US President Donald Trump's West Asia envoy Steve Witkoff meets Israeli hostage families in Tel Aviv, says working on a plan to end Gaza conflict. Philippines President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to begin 5-day state visit to India from August 4. The visit coincides with 75th anniversary of India-Philippines diplomatic relations. In Jammu and Kashmir, anti-terror operation continues in Akhal Devsar area of Kulgam district. 3 terrorists neutralized so far. Now to global weather updates, starting with Australia. And several towns in eastern Australia were blanketed in thick snow as wild weather swept through over the weekend, causing floods, stranding vehicles and cutting power to thousands. Parts of New England northwest regions saw their heaviest snowfall in 20 years, while Queensland experienced its first snow in a decade. In contrast, tourists in Japan's Kyoto city battled sweltering heat on Sunday, with temperatures soaring past 38 degrees Celsius. The meteorological agency issued a heat advisory, urging residents and visitors to stay hydrated and take precautions against heat stroke. Meanwhile, a time-lapse video from Spain and Portugal shows temperatures rising sharply, with forecasts predicting highs of up to 40 degrees Celsius in the coming days. Spain's Met Agency warns that temperatures may exceed 42 degrees Celsius near the Guadiana and Guadalquivir rivers, with the heat expected to persist through Thursday. The Krashenikov volcano on Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula has erupted for the first time in approximately 600 years, sending ash plumes up to 6,000 meters high. According to the Kamchatka Volcanic Eruption Response Team, the eruption may be linked to a massive earthquake that struck the region last week, triggering tsunami warnings as far away as French Polynesia and Chile. The team said that Krashenikov's last lava effusion took place on 1463 plus minus 40 years, and no eruption has been known since. The eruption has been assigned an orange aviation code indicating a heightened risk to aircraft. The Dragon Bravo fire in Coconino County, Arizona has caused over 112,341 acres of land with containment at just 11% as of Saturday afternoon. The fire, sparked by lightning, has prompted mandatory evacuations and threatened nearby communities, including the North Rim area of Grand Canyon. Despite efforts, the blaze has destroyed iconic structures like the historic Grand Canyon Lodge. In Chile, one of 5 miners trapped after a partial collapse at the world's largest underground copper mine has been found dead. The collapse took place on Thursday at El Teniente mine in Rancagua, 100 kilometers south of Santiago, following a seismic event. It was not yet known whether the tremor was natural or caused by drilling. At least 100 people were participating in the rescue operation for the workers who had been extending the mine to a depth of 1,200 meters. Thursday's magnitude 4.2 quake resulted in an initial toll of 1 dead and 9 injured. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has highlighted India's economic ascent, citing the IMF's World Economic Outlook. India's GDP growth is projected at 6.4% for 2025-26, outpacing the US, which is at 2%, and China, which is at 4.8%, solidifying its status as the fastest growing major economy. The IMF data released July 2025 reflects India's fiscal year, with growth forecasts at 6.7% for 2024 and 6.4% for 2026. Vaishnav emphasized this milestone amid global economic shifts, boosting India's global economic narrative. In a major push toward regional development and fulfill long-standing public demands, Indian Railways today launched 3 new express train services from Bhavnagar, Gujarat. The inauguration was led by Union Minister for Railways Ashwini Vaishnav during his visit to Gujarat's Bhavnagar, accompanied by Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Dr. Mansukh Mandavia. The new services aimed at improving interstate travel and boosting economic ties between Gujarat and other regions of India. The newly inaugurated trains include Bhavnagar to Ayodhya, Rewa to Pune and Jabalpur to Raipur. These services are expected to significantly ease travel for pilgrims, students and professionals, while also strengthening trade and tourism links.
बहुत ही गौरव की बात है कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बहुत बड़े विजन के साथ रेलवे में एक बड़ा परिवर्तन हो रहा है। नई पटरियां बन रही हैं, नई तरह की ट्रेन्स आ रही हैं। ट्रेन को साफ रखना, स्टेशन को साफ रखना, नए स्टेशन बनाना, कई तरह के काम हाथ में लिए गए हैं। और आज बहुत खुशी की बात है कि भावनगर से अयोध्या धाम को जोड़ने वाली नई ट्रेन आज चालू हुई है।
In a fatal road accident, 11 died and 4 others were critically injured in North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on Sunday. Local residents and emergency teams retrieved the bodies and rescued the injured. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath expressed deep sorrow and announced 5 lakh rupees financial aid for each victim's family. President Draupadi Murmu expressed deep condolences to the families of deceased. On social media site X, she wrote, and I quote, "The news of the deaths of many people in a vehicle accident in Gonda, Uttar Pradesh is extremely tragic. I express my deep condolences to the bereaved families. I pray for the speedy recovery of those who were injured." Prime Minister Narendra Modi also took to social media to express his condolences. The tweet said, and I quote, deeply saddened by the loss of lives due to an accident in Gonda, Uttar Pradesh. Condolences to those who have lost their loved ones in the mishap. May the injured recover soon. An ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees from PMNRF would be given to the next of kin of each deceased. The injured would be given rupees 50,000. Authorities have suspended this year's annual Amarnath Yatra just a week ahead of its scheduled conclusion due to need for maintenance on the tracks that were damaged by recent heavy rainfall. The Amarnath Yatra, a sacred pilgrimage to the holy cave shrine of Amarnath in India's Jammu and Kashmir, has been temporarily suspended from Sunday. As per local officials, the Yatra, which began on July 3rd, was scheduled to conclude on August 9th on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan. However, authorities decided to shorten it by a week, citing critical repair and maintenance works to be undertaken in the wake of heavy rainfall. Due to continued deployment of men and machinery on the tracks of Baltal and on Pahalgam, the Yatra has been halted. More than 4 lakh people paid obeisance at the holy cave of Amarnath this year. In a vibrant celebration of India's ancient culinary wisdom, the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, the FSSAI, in collaboration with the Ministry of Ayush, unveiled a definitive list of Ayurveda Ahar products on Saturday, weaving tradition into modern wellness. Rooted in the 2022 Ayurveda Ahara regulations, the list drawn from classical Ayurvedic texts includes nourishing dishes like Krishara, Khichdi, Endarika, Idli and Kashai herbal tea, promoting immunity, digestion and balance. These foods, crafted with natural herbs, align with seasonal cycles, offering sustainable health benefits. Minister Pratap Rao Jadhav championed their integration into daily diets, echoing PM Narendra Modi's vision of globalizing India's food culture. The National Institute of Ayurveda's meticulous curation ensures authenticity, empowering food business operators and fostering consumer trust. This initiative, blending regulatory rigor with holistic nutrition, invites the world to embrace Ayurveda's timeless embrace for a healthier, harmonious future. Let's take a look at other stories making news. In India's capital, Delhi, Chief Minister Rekha Gupta on Sunday inaugurated the SSB Multi-Speciality Hospital. The move showcases government's prioritization towards health by empaneling private hospitals through the Ayushman Bharat scheme to provide free treatment to those unable to get a bed in the government facilities. Amrit Udyan, the iconic garden within Rashtrapati Bhavan, that is President's House, will be open to the public from August 16 to September 14. This year, visitors can explore various gardens, including the Bal Vatika, Herbal Garden and Central Lawn, and can also experience new features like Babbling Brook and sculptural spouts. Numerous young individuals on Sunday attended a recruitment rally held in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district by Indian Army's Mandher Battalion. Following Operation Sindoor, the rally aims to provide employment opportunities to unemployed youth in the region. This initiative gives a 6-month job to selected young individuals who enthusiastically look forward to support and work with Indian soldiers. The horticulture landscape in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is undergoing a remarkable transformation due to ultra-high density apple farming, a government-backed initiative aimed at boosting productivity and doubling farmers' income. Farmers are being trained in modern horticulture practices, enabling them to optimize yields and improve quality. In the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu, Adi Perukku festival was celebrated on the banks of River Kaveri. Thousands gathered to celebrate the Hindu festival in Trichy, which is observed on the 18th day of Tamil month Adi. As part of rituals, newly married couples, women and devotees offer prayers to the river, expressing gratitude to it for her blessings. And now weather update from New Delhi. Heavy rainfall has lashed parts of Delhi early Sunday, bringing relief from humidity but also caused waterlogging in various areas in national capital. Areas including Vijay Chowk, Connaught Place, Minto Bridge, Sarojini Nagar, Ames and Panchkuin Marg witnessed intense showers. Showers were also recorded in areas like Janpath and Lajpat Nagar. Heavy waterlogging caused a lot of inconvenience to commuters. The overnight rains caused widespread disruptions, especially in busy areas like Connaught Place, where roads were inundated due to heavy rains. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. The Oval Test India's quick test English batters Joe Root and Oli Pope. Fit India Sundays on Cycle initiative aimed at promoting fitness and healthy living.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj and time now for sport, and let's begin with cricket. The battle for Anderson Tendulkar Trophy has reached its boiling point as it looks set for a thrilling finish. After 3 high-octane days of twists and turns, the action shifts now to the 4th day, as today could be the deciding day of this final test. England resumed their innings at 50 for 1 on day 4 in their bid to chase down 374 runs target. Prasidh Krishna removed Ben Duckett on score of 54 runs. Earlier, India dominated most of day 3, setting England a formidable 374-run target. Thanks to 50s from night watcher Akash Deep and all-rounders Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja, and a magnificent century from Yashasvi Jaiswal. At stumps, England stood at 50 for 1 with Mohammad Siraj dismissing Zach Crawley. With the series tied at 2-1, day 4 promises high stakes as England face a daunting chase, while India aim to clinch a memorable win on English soil. All right, and DD India's Deepika joins us live on this. Hi Deepika, we were just a while back talking about what can happen in this match and the transition of Team India from the previous encounter to this one. And if I'm not wrong, as we are talking, 2 wickets are already down.
Gone. It's 3 now.
It's 3 now. All right. We are getting this latest update from our correspondent that 3 wickets are down. So you were right in a manner, Deepika, that this match, will be finished on the 4th day itself. So how's the bowling performance and how do you analyze this match so far, Deepika?
Indeed, Siddharth, when we look at the current situation, England was not at all expecting early wickets, and especially in the first 2 hours. But unfortunately for Team England, this is happening because the 3rd wicket has also gone down yesterday, beginning from yesterday itself with Zach Crawley, and the day began with Ben Duckett going on. And now the 3rd wicket is also gone. They appealed for DRS, but I think they've lost it. So yes, the result is now that 3 wickets are down. Currently, they've only been able to make 106. The condition is also overcast. So nothing is going in favor of England as of now, whereas the rotation policy of the bowlers of Shubman Gill is currently really working well. So here Team India has come into today's game with confidence, with high confidence levels, and the confidence that keeps on increasing with the 3rd wicket, because it was very crucial. India needed 8 wickets to win this particular match and level the series by 2-2. That, as per Shubman Gill, would be a really huge achievement and also justifiably well. And looking at the current pace where the 3rd wicket is also gone down, I think, and as you also said, that the 4th day would be the decisive factor, because also if you look at all the matches in this particular 5-match series, all have been played session by session and have been stretched till the end of the session, which is also a huge achievement for Team India, and also their batting performance overall at this particular series in the English conditions against the England team has been really consistently well. There were questions on the playing 11, on the bowlers, on the seamers, on the number of fast bowlers Shubman Gill is choosing, he is sending at number 3. But I think as we are progressing towards the match, and in the match with this 3rd wicket, a lot is yet to be seen. But currently the situation is in favor of Team India and sends tremors, a bit of tremor to Team England.
Definitely a bit of tremor to Team England, and you are right. First 90 minutes will be, deciding which side the match is on. But right now it seems like that it is in India's favor, very much in India's favor, in fact. But Deepika, one thing that we have to discuss here is the confidence that team has taken along in this particular match, coming from the previous match. And this is something which will not just stay here in England. It will carry with Team India whenever they will go, whenever this test team will go. And these youngsters, the mindset which we are witnessing right now is absolutely incredible. Whether it's getting a confrontation with the Englishman, which is also required in a test match. A healthy banter is what you need, to actually build a pressure on the opposition. And on the other hand, when you go somewhere else, suppose if you are playing against Australia, which is also a very strong team, this confidence will certainly help these youngsters and the team as a whole.
From those healthy banters to, having a conversation, a heated conversation on the pitch, Team India has seen a lot currently in the ongoing series against England. And we already know that how tough are the English conditions, considering the weather, which is always really unpredictable, and also that how the wicket is going to behave, because, we are having a flatter wicket this time, which always helps the batters on the 4th and 5th day of any of the given series. So here, when we look at so many conditions, and also we have to, as you said, we have to, consider the rise of the Indian stars, be it Akashdeep, be it Karun Nayyar, be it Prasidh Krishna, who's currently bowling, or be it Sai Sudarshan coming at number 3. There have been a lot many ups and downs in this, but the bright side is that so many batters have come in forefront as all-rounders, and Akashdeep being the night watchman, turning into a nightmare for Team England, and there with so many injury concerns with England and with India, both at a very equal level. The kind of performance that India is putting up against the leadership of Shubman Gill, who himself has been asked so many questions on how he is managing his temperament, because we've seen him in a very nervous situation also, and in the toss update also of this current 5th match series, he forgot to add the 4th change which was there, because he was of course very nervous. He lost the toss once again, but then losing the toss doesn't mean that you're losing your spirits also.
Indeed.
And this day comes as a perfect example to it.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. And also, we have to talk about the leadership of Shubman Gill. The calmness which he has brought on his face, after several incidents, it's certainly incredible. And he's leading by example, scoring good runs, playing good shots, keeping that calm. It certainly goes on to show that the Indian Test team is in right hands, Deepika.
Indeed.
And also, as we talk, Zach Crawley has been sent back to the dressing room, Ben Duckett, Oli Pope, but there's a hurdle to cross. Joe Root is still there, Harry Brook is still there. I think if they get Joe Root early on or Harry Brook, either of the two, I think the match is in their hands.
There's a lot of pressure on Team England right now, and the only key is to get a century. If they are able to hit a century, if Joe Root can do the trick for Team England today, England can sail through it. But it is now, of course, a very tough task when we talk about it. And as you were talking about Shubman Gill's captaincy, today itself, Sunny Gavaskar gave him a gift, a t-shirt and a cap, in honor of the runs that he's made so far in the ongoing test series, and the kind of pace, the kind of temperament he's shown all across throughout the series, because this is not an easy task. Again, playing against England, and that too in English conditions, being a visiting team there, playing against the home team there, and having so many ups and downs, having those heated conversations, be it about pitch or be it about on-pitch camaraderie. There have been a lot which has gone through, and so many injury concerns. Of course, they did hit the Indian team, and every now and then they had to come up with new solutions, new placements, replacements, and of course those bowling combinations, how many fast bowlers you are sending to the team. So all those factored in, but then Shubman Gill stood strong in his approach along with Gautam Gambhir, and we are seeing the results right now. And talking about the current situation, it is a bit shaky for Team England, because losing early 3 wickets wasn't exactly what they were expecting, but that has happened so far. And here Joe Root has a lot of pressure, and the rest of the players, of course, in the playing 11 going down the line, they would be having a lot of pressure, but they really have to rise to the occasion, and especially considering the changing weather pattern. The condition is currently overcast there at Kennington Oval, Siddharth.
Definitely. The Indian bowling lineup is currently something which can rattle English batting lineup, and we were discussing earlier as well, Deepika, that we hope to see some CU celebrations today, like yesterday we did on the very last ball of the match, wherein Mohammad Siraj chipped in 1 wicket, and today as well. Incredible bowling performance. But apart from, while talking about everyone, Deepika, we cannot forget to talk about KL Rahul. He's someone who's having some textbook, in fact, every textbook shot in his kitty, and the way he plays, the way he builds partnership with the other batter is very incredible. He is a very pivotal member, a key player in the Indian Test cricket team.
When we talk about this particular Test cricket team, you rightly said that KL Rahul has contributed a lot. He's amassed a lot for the cricket team, and he has added a lot of depth to the current ongoing, squad of this playing 11 to the cricket team. But also we have to factor in about Rishabh Pant also here, because playing with that fractured foot and hitting a half century with a fractured foot, with which the English critics, they said that if Rishabh Pant, ahead of today's match, they said that if Rishabh Pant can play with a fractured foot, then why not Chris Wokes come on the pitch and do some wonders? And I think they are considering the pressuring situation they have right now on their head. They are really looking forward to the combinations and how exactly are they going to strategize the game ahead, because they were expecting a good decent total to be put on the number of runs till the tea break, but I don't think that is happening currently right now. They have to look at their strategy. But yes, as you said, starting from KL Rahul to Rishabh Pant to Karun Nair, Sai Sudarshan, everybody has been, rose up to the occasion, and everybody is playing like a team, because we were talking about that whether Shubman Gill would focus towards, creating and attaining more number of records, or whether he would focus towards making it a very good team game. And Shubman Gill, as a captain, he worked towards making it a very strong team, and this is the results we are currently seeing on the pitch.
Definitely, and we hope that they end the match as soon as possible with the incredible bowling and incredible form in which Team India currently is. Thank you so much. We leave with that, Deepika. A special edition of the popular fitness campaign Fit India Sundays on Cycle was held on Sunday at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi in collaboration with India Post, drawing large participation from athletes, youth and fitness enthusiasts. This Sunday's edition was particularly notable for the felicitation of India's young sporting champions, 4 rising stars of Indian basketball, Arman, Ansh Tomar, Shekhar Rathi and Krishna Suneria were honoured for winning the gold medal at the 2024 South Asian Under-16 Basketball Championship, organised under the banner of Fit India Movement, an initiative of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. The weekly cycling event promotes cycling as a sustainable, environment-friendly and health-conscious lifestyle choice. Brazil successfully defended their Women's Copa America crown by defeating Colombia 5-4 in a shootout on Saturday to claim their 9th continental title after a roller coaster final in Quito ended 4-4. The deciders saw Colombia take the lead 3 times, only for Brazil to respond on each occasion. Brazil great Marta forced extra time with a late equalizer, and the veteran stuck again in the 105th minute to seemingly seal victory, which happens to be their 9th continental title. Lionel Messi, Inter Miami's star forward, suffered an injury in the 11th minute of a League's Cup match against Necaxa on Saturday at Chase Stadium. The 38-year-old Argentine stumbled after a collision, appearing to injure his upper right leg or groin. He left the field under his own power, replaced by Federico Redondo. Messi, who has 18 goals and 9 assists in 18 MLS games this season, previously battled through strain issues. After assisting both goals in a 2-1 win over Atlas, Messi's status is uncertain for Miami's Lex League Cup match against Pumas. That's all for this edition of DD India NewsHour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India NewsHour.